All right, let's dive into something that's absolutely crucial for any organization. We're going to break down three words you hear all the time: projects, programs, and portfolios. Getting the difference between these is kind of the secret sauce. It's what separates the companies that are just, well, busy from the ones that are actually making real strategic moves. So let me just ask you this and be honest. Have you ever been on a team that's just flat out launching projects, hitting deadlines, but at the end of the day, it feels like you're just spinning your wheels? Like the company isn't really going anywhere new? Yeah, you're not alone. That feeling is a classic symptom of a huge disconnect between the work you do every day and the company's big picture strategy. And that right there is the core of what we're talking about today. The goal isn't just to be productive and check boxes off a list. No way. True success, the kind that actually propels a company forward, comes from knowing that every single hour, every dollar, every bit of effort is being poured into the work that truly matters. So, how do we make that leap? How do we get from just being busy to creating real, tangible impact? Well, the first step is we have to zoom out. We need to look beyond the individual project, beyond our daily to do list, and see the much larger framework that it all fits into. Because here's the problem so many companies face. When projects are just run in their own little silos, they might even succeed individually, but they don't add up to anything meaningful. You get what's called strategic drift. It's like a ship with a broken rudder, just slowly, almost invisibly veering off course. And all the while, you're burning through time, money, and talent. So how do we fix this? How do we get that ship pointed in the right direction? Well, it all comes down to understanding these three fundamental building blocks: projects, programs, and portfolios. Getting these definitions straight is a total game changer, especially, by the way, if you're studying the standard PMBOK approach for a certification like the CAPM. This is foundational stuff. Okay, first up, the project. This is the one we all kind of get, right? The two key words to lock in your brain are temporary, it has a definite start and a definite end, and it creates something unique. Could be a new piece of software, could be a new marketing campaign, whatever it is, it's a specific, one-time effort to create a specific result. Now we level up to the program. A program isn't just a bigger project or a random collection of them. No, the key word here is related. It's a group of related projects that you manage together in a coordinated way. And why would you do that? Because by doing so, you get these bigger combined benefits that you just couldn't get if you ran each project on its own. It's all about synergy. And finally, we get to the very top, the portfolio. The easiest way to think about a portfolio is as the organization's entire investment strategy. It's the whole collection of projects, programs, and even ongoing operations that are selected to meet the company's highest level strategic goals. And here's the most important part. The projects in a portfolio don't have to be related to each other at all. They just have to be the right mix of initiatives to push the overall strategy forward. Okay, to really make this stick, let's use a fun analogy. Think about a space agency, a single project. That's building the Mars rover. It's a complex but unique temporary thing. Now that rover project is part of a much larger program. Let's call it the Mars Exploration Program. This program also includes projects to build a new satellite and a landing system. They're all related and managed together to achieve that big goal of exploring Mars. And then, the entire agency's portfolio is the whole shebang. It includes the Mars program, sure, but also the Jupiter program, a bunch of Earth observation projects, everything they're spending money on to achieve their strategic vision of advancing space exploration. See how it all rolls up? Now, this table is where it really all clicks into place. Just look at the differences. A project manager is laser-focused on delivering a specific thing on time and on budget. That's their world. A program manager zooms out of it. Their job is to make sure that cluster of projects actually delivers the big benefit we were promised. But the portfolio manager, they have the widest view of all. Their job is to make sure the entire collection of investments is creating the most possible value for the organization. So you see, what success looks like is totally different at each level. Okay, so we've got the hierarchy. We see the building blocks, but what about the why? How does this structure actually build that bridge from the code you're writing today to where the company wants to be 5 years from now? Well, it happens through something called the strategic cascade. And it sounds fancy, but it's actually super logical. It all starts at the very top with the company's overall vision and mission. That gets broken down into broader, long-term goals. Then those goals get sharpened into specific, measurable objectives. And right there at the bottom, that's the magic link. The portfolio is the set of programs and projects that are handpicked specifically to make those objectives a reality. It's literally how strategy becomes action. And look, this isn't just some nice-to-have management theory. It's absolutely essential. In fact, the official PMI standard says it right here. Without this alignment, you're basically flying blind. You run a massive risk of pouring resources into projects that, even if perfectly executed, add little or no real value to the company. This is how you stop that strategic drift we were talking about. Okay, so we get the structure, we know why it's so important. But how is it actually managed? I mean, what does running a portfolio look like in the real world? Let's take a quick peek at the main areas you'd be focused on. So managing a portfolio isn't a one-and-done decision. It's not like you just pick your projects in January and check back in December. Nope. It's this dynamic, ongoing process of steering the ship. You're constantly balancing these key areas. Governance, to make sure decisions are made the right way. Stakeholder engagement, to keep everyone aligned. Value management, to track if you're getting the results you expected. And, of course, risk management. And risk is a perfect example of the mindset shift here. At the project level, risk management is all about tactics. It's asking what could go wrong with this project and how do we stop it? But at the portfolio level, the question is completely different. It's strategic. It's asking, how do we balance our high-risk, high-reward moonshots against our safer, more predictable bets to get the best possible outcome for the whole company? It's not about avoiding all risk. It's about managing a smart portfolio of risks. Which brings us to the whole point of all of this. After all the structure, all the processes, all the strategy meetings, what is it all for? It really just boils down to one single powerful word: value. But value can be kind of a fuzzy word, right? So what does it actually mean? Well, the key thing to understand is that value is contextual. It's not always just about dollars and cents. Value is whatever the organization has strategically decided is important. For one company, it might be pure revenue growth. For another, it might be improving customer satisfaction, or reducing their security risk, or meeting new regulatory requirements. The portfolio is the tool you use to deliver that specific kind of value. So here's the big takeaway I want you to leave with. When you see projects, programs, and portfolios working together correctly, you're not just looking at a better way to manage work. You are looking at the engine that literally brings a company's strategy to life. It's the system that turns ideas on a whiteboard into reality. And so that leaves us with one final and really critical question to think about. When you look at your own organization, is its collection of projects just a hodgepodge of good ideas and random tasks? Or is it a carefully balanced, intentionally designed portfolio that is actively building the exact future the company says it wants? Because really, the answer to that question changes absolutely everything.